Hey, it's Tommy Colletti. I am here at the Music Zoo today with a new run of guitars that we're really excited about. This is the RR1 VS. VS for Vintage Spec. So I have to kind of go back in time with you guys, at least from my experience. You know, there's so many Randy Rhoads fans in the world, and everybody kind of knows the Randy story at this point, and very detailed amounts. And as time goes on, we learn more and more about Randy and his guitars and his playing and his life. When I was a kid, I was a huge Randy fan, an Ozzy fan, and Randy passed away. And not too long after, it might have been 6 or 8 weeks after, Guitar Player magazine had come out with an article that basically was like Randy Rhoads Remembered. And it had a whole article about his life, his story, his guitars, how he played, you know, like different solos and all that. And they spoke to different people like Grover Jackson and Max Norman, who produced those records, and Ozzy, I think. And as soon as I saw that magazine, I ran to my local Charvel dealer at the time to ask them like what this was, because they had mentioned Charvel in the article. And the guy that owned Grayson's Music told me, oh, well, that's Grover Jackson, and he owns Charvel. And before you know it, and I was 14 or 15 years old, I was on the phone with Grover Jackson, standing in the retail store in Grayson's in Hempstead, New York, and told Grover that I wanted to buy one and put a deposit on one. And I remember oddly, because I was underage, Bernie Grayson wouldn't take a deposit from me. He wanted an adult present. So I had to go back with my dad. And by the time I got my dad to like take the ride with me from Queens, New York to Long Island, which seems like it's really nothing, but it was a lot for like my dad to get into the car and take me after work or whatever. Months went by. And I wound up getting the 93rd guitar made. I don't have it anymore. If somebody has it, it was white. It had a Kaler on it, sadly. And I loved it. But when I got the guitar, I immediately referred back to the pictures of Randy and to that magazine. And I remember having that like moment where mine doesn't look exactly like Randy's. It's close, but it's not exact. And it always bugged me. It bugged me for years. And as the production model for Jackson came out, like that was the spec. Whatever they came out with at the time was the new spec. And there were those little tiny differences that always bugged me, you know, about the guitar that I owned. And I loved it, and I played it, and I enjoyed it. But I really wanted just like Randy's, you know, and it wasn't just like Randy's. So the things that I took away from it were the inlays were one of the big things. Like on the production model, the inlays were slightly bigger. The headstock looked bigger to me, and the logo was written differently than on Randy's. Randy's logo was gold, and it had a specific kind of script writing. And then the guitar that I had was a white, kind of off-white lettering, and it just looked different. The pickup rings that I had were plastic, but I believe Randy's were brass. And they were just like these little slight differences that always just kind of made me kind of, for lack of a better term, like just bummed out. And I apparently wasn't the only one, because years later, Jackson had produced a run of guitars called the PCS. Player Collector's Choice, Players Collector's Series. And there was, I don't know, 50 or 100 guitars made that were closer to Randy. And it got a lot closer. The bridge was right, and the V plate on the guitar was right. The inlays looked better. I don't even know if they got the logo right, but it was certainly a lot closer than it was. And I chased that, and I thought that was so cool that they finally like figured it out, and somebody other than me just went, hey, this is slightly different. So this has been in my head for years, and you know, we're longtime Charvel and Jackson dealers, and as time progresses, I keep pressing the button with Jackson. Hey, can we do this? Oh, no, we can't do that right now. Like, that's maybe, you know, ask us in about a year and we'll get back to you. So this has been like this ongoing thing for quite some time. And finally, it's already a couple of years ago, I got a yes out of somebody. I asked for the small inlays and they were like, oh yeah, we could do that. I was like, I don't know what changed from the day before, but obviously like I just kept asking that question and things started to change. So that's what this series is. It's closer specs to Randy's, But still, again, we're still having some fun with things that we think maybe Randy would have done as time went on. A Floyd Rose wasn't really available at that time. It was the very beginning of the Floyds. Different colors. This is red sparkle. It looks amazing. So we're going to take this and we're going to run with it, very much like our SL2 HV, our soloist that we changed some specs and made it more of our own. We're going to do this. We have guitars on order. There's several dozen on the way in different iterations, and we'd love for you to have one. Well, our gut is that these are going to sell relatively quickly. I hope you want one, because I know I do. Please remember to visit on our social channels at The Music Zoo. Come visit us. If you're interested in one of these, there's several iterations on order right now with Jackson. If you're a fan of Jackson, you know that the guitars take time to build. So if you want one, contact our sales team. They'll let you know what we have on order and get your name on one, because they come in and they go out very quickly. We're excited about them. I'm excited about these. I'm going to be really hard pressed to not take one of these home with me. Talk to you soon. Thanks.